First destination, Fort William. Second destination, Inverness. Third destination, John O'Groats. It's 96 miles of the West Highland Way. I'm going to do 70 odd miles of the Great Glen Way, which take me to Inverness. Now, if my legs and everything isn't completely trashed, I'll do part of or all of John O'Groats Way. 147 miles. 317 miles, so that's quite a long way. Oh, it's a Scottish TARDIS. I've that joke's been done many a time. I'm on Socky Hill Street in Glasgow. My partner was born on Socky Hill Street, which no one ever believes, but actually there was an infant hospital on this street in the 40s. I'm here on the way to do the West Highland Way. Oh, I'm knackered. I had a 10-hour coach ride on Flixbus. The coach was fine because it was a red eye overnight. I'm going to head to Milngavie. Can't get a whiskey here for all the off licences. Can't start alcohol till 10 o'clock. How Glasgow has changed. I wonder where the West Highland Way is. Oh. I think of all the times I had to look for the start of things or the end of things, like South Downs Way. So I've lost the Drymen, don't know if I made it today. Gaelic Hill, Chris Rose, and the Romans. First day, go to Falla, West Highland Red, Irnbru, Irnbru, Wicklow, Devil's Staircase, and then Ben Nevis. 96 miles. It's going to be fun. I need some whiskey for a trip like that. Definitely. So it begins. Just leaving Milngavie. I think that's how you pronounce it. I always say Milngavie. But it's Milngayee. Gavie. You don't do the V. The river is beautiful. Burn is beautiful, really. This is Scotland's first trail. A bit like the South Downs Way, it was started in the 70s. In my mind, a beginner trail. To this type of walking, I'm very much a beginner. The South Downs Way was kind of a trial run for this. It looks like the first 12 miles to Drymen are actually quite a long road, or near roads. A little bit worried about where there's campsites, really. Yes, legally, as long as you're not camping in someone's garden or right by someone's house, you can camp some places like this. I'd rather not camp so near civilization. There's a whole thing about the Lochside with Sassenach, which I will go into when we're nearer there. I thought I'd lost the backpackers, it turns out. Oh, you went the wrong way. That happens when you're filming and not paying attention. We've got bluebell woods and little streams. Such a big trail. I was like, is this a railway line? A dead railway line? I'm not sure if it is actually. And it's not flat completely, but it's pretty easy going. And it's famous last words. The only concern I'd be about camping around here is not flattering any bluebells. The biggest problem at the moment is the heavier pack, because I've got full water and fuel and stuff, but I'm taking it easier today. At some point I'm going to hit that exhaustion more because of not very much sleep on the coach, so I'll probably camp early. But also stopping to photograph stuff like this. The amazing bluebell woods and old trees that form. It gives me time to rest though. But yeah, this walk, I'm not going to rush it. I know people can do it like 5 days, 4 days, 7 days. 96 miles. I scheduled more days than that. And I can push it, I can even do it even slower I want to. I'm not a fan of those dark clouds. I just put some sun cream on. In fact, I'll probably put my shades on in a second. But that, if I put my shades on, it's almost guaranteed to jinx it and I'll start ready. But we have a bench, which is great, and we have a stream. So, my first use of the Cnoc Vecto. We use the Sawyer in the collab video, and of course we've got the active bottle with a sports cap. But the guy that invented these did so because he got fed up of putting his hands into cold locks like that one. That's Craig Allian lock. When I heard about that, I was like, I'm getting one because he designed them for exactly this kind of trip. Let's unclip this bit. The VectoX is apparently stronger. I'm trying to get the fast flowing part. Might be brown. I've noticed this is a bit brown. I don't need that much. Oh yes. Brown water. Give this a go. You fold it over and you put that there. It's not leaking, that's good. I probably found around the corner there is a water tap or something. That'll be just my luck. I need to do this anyway. No, can't do that. Of course I brought the bottle cap. So we can do that. It's got a slight brown tinge to it. Now for the taste test. It's quite tiny. Although it tastes fine. Slightly yellow. I like the fact the Knoc's got these little litres and, you know, normal metric things and then weird fluid ounces. Sorry, Americans. Use the sports cap to backwash as well. Not tried that yet. Apparently, you just sort of do it that way. See how much faster it is. No, I've backflushed it. I haven't really explained what I'm doing here, really. We're about sort of 4.5 miles from Milngayee, a bit less than 8 miles, to Drymen. I'm doing the 96 miles of the West Highland Way. Now, if my legs and everything isn't completely trashed, I'm going to do 70 odd miles the Great Glen Way, which take me to Inverness. And if I feel okay, I'll do part of or all of the Cnoc Way, which is 147 miles. 217 miles, so that's quite a long way. First destination, Fort William. Second destination, Inverness. Third destination, Cnoc. I love the fact that in England it's acorns for the trails, or maybe it's the West Highland Way, it's just the thistle, but I suspect it's a generic thing. So South Sounds Way I was following acorns, now I'm following thistles. A lot of people who aren't British are hiking the West Highland Way. How do that? Well, accents, language, but also there's a little bit where they walked on the road and the two groups of hiking in front of me who weren't British because they walked on the wrong side of the road. You can see one of them ahead of me, I don't know. He had a fairly moderate sized pack. Young ultralights sort of powering past, but not stopping. People think ultralight is about harder, faster, longer, and they power through without brakes. Then they just burn through their energy, and I catch up with them because, yeah, I might be doing sort of 2.5, 2 and a bit miles an hour, but I'm doing it consistently with brakes. You know, I'm planning to pick up the pace a little bit, actually. It's better to have a slower, consistent pace, which is what I'm doing on this trip, with a heavier bag, and be comfortable with that bag, and have a comfortable bag with it heavier, but you know you can carry and wear for a long time, than have a lighter pack that actually causes you problems. But I'm not really sure what this little house is. A sculpture, a duck house, a very small duck house. I don't really know. Not really in the world to see just yet, but this is what it's about. Am I getting wilder? Although you can still see sort of farmhouses and barns and power pylon. And this is why I'm probably carrying less water. So many streams like this. That's interesting, a poem for the beech tree. But it's only another, Fort Bill as a place, it's only another 87 miles. Yeah, we've done that 7 miles. I'm feeling more, there was a point at like 5 miles where my feet were just like, ow. I was stopped on the path and I was like, ouch, it should not hurt this much. But I had some fruit pastels and I feel a bit better. But as you might have guessed, this is a bit of an ambly situation around here. Look at all these fences. Very much not any camping opportunity around here. So we're here, 7.5 miles in. Drymen. It goes up a bit over the, I assume that's over the hill where the forest, and then it's going along the lochs side. It starts to get a bit more uppy. There's Cranlarech, Tindrum, Bajorki, and Kinloch Lemon. Whoa! Yeah, it's probably around. Is that around where Ben Nevis is? That's quite uppy. Even got some random art. Random art! First, Angus coos. Hello, coo. The coo's having switchies on the fence. I'm trying to head for Drymen, or past Drymen. About 4 miles, less than 4 miles from Drymen. It's all livestock fields which you can't camp in. I've even seen my first no camping sign. This area is weird. Scotland generally has this rule, the right to roam. There's a bylaw. Although this right to roam, right to camp exists, specifically bans it along part of the Trossachs Park. And that is a problem. There is a sort of thin strip around the loch. It's like 10 miles. And so one of the reasons why I want to head for Drymen, I want to shorten that distance tomorrow so I can just go straight through. I'm sure it's lovely, but with that faff, there is one official camping site and you have to pre-book it, and it gets very bad reviews. It's just before you get to Rowadin, and I don't know how to say that, but yeah, this little promontory. But there's actually like 50 miles to 10 miles before that, but there's nothing except private campsites. Private campsites are fine, and so there's a Forestry Commission one which I might go for, but again you're supposed to pre-book it and it's all like faff, and apparently people come round, and if you're around I might camp there and say, you know, here's the money, I'm going to pay. But the problem with pre-booking is you either book several nights because you don't know which one you're going to hit it at, or you'll get there early and you're forced to camp there and you don't want to. I was right, this does follow the path of an old train line. The irony is, at this point, the West Highland Way is built on a pipeline. I thought there were possibly military, the little entry points to the pipeline. Along the railway line they built a water pipeline from Loch Lomond. And interestingly, there has been several taps. There's one at the is it Beech? No, the Beech was a deli. B-E-T-S. Before that there was a cafe which had a tap. So there's been a few things like that. There was a water refill Milngavie, and yeah, so it's been pretty good, although I have to say it did dry up. There was lots of water filtering opportunities. Have some lunch and took off my shoes and that. So I'm not surprised the twelves can rub there. There's indeed rubbing there. But of course we have all the things. Of course I have blister plasters, but I have the tape as well. You put the blister plasters on, you chuck some medical tape. You can just put the medical tape on it as well if you get into plasters. Another thing, I got a Huntsman. I know, cliche, but I really wanted scissors. Having scissors really helps with cutting the tape. Got a generous amount of tape because the one was a little bit too small. Yeah, and put a bit more on this one actually. My very belated lunch, and all the people I'd passed before passed me. And when they stop, we'll do the same. It's kind of weird. It's threatening to rain, which, given we are walking about 2 miles from Drymen, will be about right if it rains. Random stuff that probably won't make the edit because, like, it might not be worth mentioning. My selfie stickers have already started to fail. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months old. So I need some glue or some tape. So I'm going to try and get to the spa at Drymen. I wasn't going to do a detour, but I think I'll do it because it'll be about an extra mile, which I don't want. But it's 5 o'clock. It looks very grumpy, but we should have 2 or 3 hours light. Trolls Bridge. I wonder what that was. First serious hill. It is very beautiful though, as it's... I've already had problems with my feet. Apparently there is a campsite called Drymen Camping, but I'm very tempted. But I came here specifically while camp. They have all these honesty shops. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff along here than I thought. I never totally rely on that, and also I think when you get sort of towards the end of the trip, like Ben Nevis, after Tyndrum, I think it gets much more wild, so we'll see. You don't say, it's called the West Highland Way. I just passed Drymen Camping and it's full of tents. It's open, and I'm pretty sure I saw some of the people that passed me in there. So it looks like my worry about, all these people, they're all heading for the campsite. Find a wild camping spot, I should be a man. Well, you know, I'm committed to wild camping. I came to wild camp legally. The idea of camping on a campsite on the first night, and just no. The whole point is legally camp here. That's what we can do. More hobbity stuff. They're obsessed. This is Drymen, centre of the Scotland's no camping zone. I'm getting major Amberley vibes here. I'm feeling these people are out of towners. You know, they didn't grow up here. Very tempted to just camp actually in Drymen somewhere. Let's say, I won't. So much hassle. When in Scotland, I had to try these Irnbru flavoured sweets. Here goes. Oh, they're squishy.
And then she looks at you and I'm like,
I was just reading a hard sweet, like sherbet. Kind of Irnbru. They call like weird medicinal flavour. Like dandelion burdock, Irnbru is always a bit kind of medicinal. Yeah, quite nice. Thumbs up. This is sweet review again. Last time it was fruit pastels, now it's Irnbru pastels. Change of sweet channel. They did have a water refill station, which is good. I saw a sign saying they had a public toilet. Someone was bemoaning, oh, don't use our hedge as a public toilet, we can see you. Public toilet 0.6 miles from Drymen. And there isn't one. I don't know what their public toilet is, it's probably the pub's toilet. And weirdly on Google, if you go to the public toilet, it's marked the bus stop. Very strange. First bog of the trip, and it's avoided. I went round it. I'm just, at this time of night, just cannot be asked. Yeah, I just double checked because someone was camping by the river over there, and I was like, oh, they're chancing their luck. And it turns out, yeah, it's kind of like the two roads. As soon as you turn off here, now we're getting into the bit where there's not camping bylaw, camping management. So anywhere from here on, I think. That is amazing scenery. Hoping we'll in these woods we'll find a camping spot. Should do. Don't know how accessible they are, but there's paths running through them, so unless they're all fenced off, they should be. I've heard others say that's where they're planning to camp or have camped. Just saw deer bounding away, and I'm hoping this forest will lie to bed for the night. Not sure. It looks very rocky. I think that's it. Some tree roots. And that is the view. We do have a little bit of a moat. This one to do. We also have a little sitting thing. Probably a place to even maybe do the somewhere to put the stove on. This has obviously been used before because you can see from there, not even doing that on the roots, and here. But the rest of it is very much like that, which is not flat. Old, moss covered walls. How old these walls are. Tent is up. I didn't realise there's actually some other people over there, further down. So, I don't know if there's going to be trouble. I did try and approach them and there was nobody answering. I didn't want to stumble into their camp, which is not a good thing to do. Old camping etiquette. I tried walking up the hill and there wasn't a better sight, so this is a bit in the view of the... But as I say, if it's legal, which it is, this isn't animal land, this isn't crops, I'm only staying here at night, should be fine. Unless it's somewhere around the camp. I lost my selfie stick. It broke anyway, and that's why I got the glue for it. But it seems like the stick has escaped. No bag. This is the wide angle, the wide angle, the ultra wide angle. It only shoots in HD and it's pretty terrible. I'll give it a go though. Yeah, and I got no selfie stick. Just having my hot chocolate. And we're rocking the, well, it's not Crocs, the mock Crocs, Primark copy. That really helps to not have my shoes on. This is very peaty. I rinsed out my dirty water bag and put fresh water in, and then I've actually boiled it. But it seems like the peatiness has come through. I'm looking forward to eating some of this stuff, so we'll just save weight. I've not tried these. These are a little thing. Cabanossi. I've got some white rabbit cheese filled gnocchi and throw in some cabernosh, mini cabernosh, and some mushrooms. I stuck some mushrooms at the moment. So yeah, that'll be dinner. I want some pesto, I think. Let's have a little pesto pot. I think that'd be nice. I think we're currently playing chicken on who can not use the light. I want to put the lights on you. That was day one of the West Highland Way Scottish trip, and we travelled 12.46 miles from Milngayee to Drymen. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please hit the like button and click that subscribe button if you want to find out more about my long Scottish ramble, and we also need your help to get to 1,000 subscribers to get monetized, please. On screen now will be the next video in this series if it's available. If not, it'll be something else.
and I hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you soon.